This is a brand new GPS bike computer from a company that until about 2 weeks ago, I'd never heard of. But this new Coros Dura has reason for me to be excited, and you too, because of the battery runtime. They claim a simply mind-blowing 120 hours is possible with this new device, as it just switches off there. So pretty amazing, far more than a Garmin, Wahoo, Hammerhead or other computers will do. And in this video I share my impressions on using this new computer, share some highlights and some quirks as well, and talk about how it compares to the rivals. And this is just a first impression. There will be a more in-depth review in the next few weeks and months as well. But let's dive in and talk about the battery runtime, because that's the real headline figure here. And they achieve that claimed battery time via two reasons: the screen and the solar panel there. Now, Garmin have been doing solar panels on their 500, 800 and 1000 series computers for the last few years, so not a new feature. And the company claims that for every 1 hour of riding, an additional 2 hours of runtime is generated, which is impressive if that actually is the case. But for full transparency, I've been using it for 4 days since it arrived just last week, getting back from the Dolomites for a bike launch. And it's not been that sunny here, so I've not had a chance to test that feature, but I will do over the next few weeks. Then we have the screen. So the screen is a memory in pixel screen, so a lower power, lower draw screen like you get in an e-reader. So that's why the battery runtime is so good, but the quality of the screen isn't in the same league as a Garmin, or my personal favorite, the Hammerhead, or even the Wahoo. And looking through the menus here on the home screen, it looks more 1994 than 2024. But I must say, when you're actually out riding the bike in cloudy weather, the clarity, the contrast of the screen is really good. And you can see the data, whether speed, power, very easily. So actual riding experience with the screen, despite how lo-fi it looks here, it's actually really good. And all you want when you're riding is to be able to see at a glance how fast you're going, what power you're doing, or whatever your sort of requirements from a computer are. And it's not a patch on the brand new Hammerhead Crew 3, which is probably the market leader in terms of screen quality. It's more like using a smartphone than a bike computer. Really sharp, really nice to use, it has to be said. But the battery runtime on the Gen 2 Hammerhead Crew hasn't been that great. They claim it's better with a new version 3, but I've only had it for about a week, so not long enough to retest the battery runtime. So I guess it comes down to amazing screen quality, but shorter runtime, or lower quality screen experience, but a much longer runtime. So depends what your requirements are. And that runtime is why the company is aiming it squarely at the sort of rider who values long runtime. So anyone doing a big gravel event, it was spotted for the first time at the Unbound a few weeks ago in the US. You're doing the fastest known time, you're doing a transcontinental, doing a multi-day bike packing trip. This would have been fantastic for my 3-day ride across Wales last weekend. I used a Wahoo, but after 8 hours in the saddle, I was almost running out of battery. This would have probably done the whole weekend on a single charge. I've been using it for 3 days now, and I've done a couple of rides, and the battery is currently at 91% with a heart rate and a power meter sensor connected via Bluetooth and ANT+. But that runtime is something I'll keep a close eye on over the next few days and weeks as I keep testing it, and I won't charge it until the battery has gone right down to 0% and runs flat. And I'll try and work out how much riding time I've done in that time and see how close I can get to that magical 120-hour runtime. But battery life is one thing, definitely a big thing with this. Price is another area where this computer really looks interesting. Now, computers have got expensive. That Garmin Edge 840 Solar is over $400. The Hammerhead Crew 3, nearly $500, $475. This new Coros Dura, any guesses? You're probably wrong. $250 and £250, which, given the features and that battery runtime and the solar technology, is pretty amazing. So that is a very punchy, very competitive price indeed. So they are clearly being ambitious in terms of their desire to get market share. And I think at that price, I can see a lot of people switching over to it. There is a question mark over long-term durability and reliability. Of course, it's a brand new device, and I remember the teething problems that Garmin had in the old days. Wahoo had a few niggles early on, and it's taken the companies a few years to iron out all their wrinkles. But my experience so far, based on admittedly a short amount of time using it, is so far pretty seamless. There's a smartphone app which is intuitive and easy to use and allows you to customize all the data screens on the computer and download the latest firmware. I'm currently running a beta firmware, and even in the couple of days I've been using it, there are more updates coming very quickly. So hopefully the company keeps up that rapid focus on firmware updates to bring more features and assure reliability. But in 3 days of using, it's not crashed, hasn't done anything wonky or untoward. So far, it's been okay. Getting routes from Strava onto here via the app for testing the navigation with turn-by-turn directions has been smooth and faultless. And uploading to Strava afterwards has been seamless as well. So the whole experience, I have to say, has been a breeze. I've had no problems at all. Now I'll talk about the interface a bit more. So we have this 2.7-inch color screen, some color, not a lot, and it's touchscreen, and it's fairly responsive and quick and does what you want when you expect it to. But we also have the turn wheel dial on the side, which is a nod to the watch they also make, and a bit like a turn dial on a classic watch like this. And that turn wheel does the same function as your little finger there. Then we have, if you press into, say, navigation, you have your routes there. That's a back button just there. And then you can also use a turn wheel, going to gravel, you press that, and then you go through the different modes. And there's lots of features. It's set up for performance-minded riders with FTP tests. You can download workouts from Training Peaks and do all that sort of stuff as well. Connect your power meter and get left-right power measuring and 3-second smoothing data. And also nice mapping as well. The screen is comparable to my experience with the Wahoo Element Roam in terms of the amount of color on the screen, the clarity of the screen, and the ease of following the blue line with the arrows as well. So far, I've been having a very smooth experience with it. And out of the box, the data screens you get work really well. So here's the default screen with speed, average speed, grade, and time of day, and your elapsed time at the bottom. If I scroll up, we then have 3-second average power, normalized power, speed, time of day, distance, and then mapping page there. But you can customize all these as you want. I've customized some of the fields already to replace the default fields with fields I actually want when I'm riding. And that from the app is really, really easy. And then if we turn it over, we have a Garmin quarter turn mount, and the box includes an out front mount as well. And that's a good move because there are lots and lots of Garmin mounts out there. Wahoo use their own sort of version, very similar, and Hammerhead very special and have their own mount. So that makes a lot of sense using a Garmin mount because there are mounts for Garmin's for every bike and handlebar stem system out there. So first impressions are very good indeed. It feels a bit basic, if I'm honest, the screen display, and having a rotary dial is perhaps a bit redundant when you have such a nice touch screen, and sometimes the speed is a little bit sensitive when you are scrolling through. One other quirk is there's no off button. This button here turns the screen on, but the device is an always on computer. So it shuts down, powers down automatically, or the screen goes to sleep, I guess. So there's no power off button. One other feature I really like is when you press the on button, it's on instantly. No delay, no startup process, no warming up process like with a Wahoo or a Hammerhead or even a Garmin. It's on instantly. And I found when I leave the house, leave the front door, it finds the satellites it needs straight away. So no delay in getting the bike and the computer up and running. If you're in a hurry, this computer is ready for you. So that's quite nice. As with any new device or computer, you have to get used to the interface and where everything is. That's natural because every computer has a different interface and places for all the different features. But it hasn't taken me long to figure out where all the stuff is that I need. So yeah, learning curve pretty easy with a computer. The battery life and the price are two key features with this new computer. But what a way to launch a brand new computer in a fairly saturated market with mature offerings from Garmin, Wahoo and Hammerhead and others. A staggering battery life, if it is to be believed, and my testing will confirm that over the next few weeks. And a really punchy price as well. So quite a lot to like on first impression, but I'll reserve full judgment and my verdict for a few weeks time, so stay tuned. If you want to find out more, I'll put a link to their website down below. They haven't paid for the review for full transparency, but check out their website if you want to find out more about it down below. But that is all for today. Don't forget to subscribe by hitting that button right there, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.